Hello guys and welcome to a new WetalkUAV video. We have the new Smove Mobile in our hands and it's gonna be a great comparison. Let's go inside. Hello guys and welcome, this is Alex Asemacher, and a few months ago we did a comparison which went pretty well on the new Smove Q and the DJI Osmo Mobile 2, and you guys were asking us about a few things on the video, and I have to say that we're gonna do this video for you guys, and that there is a new player in this game. It's the new Smove Mobile. We just received this and we're gonna do a comparison between these three. A bunch of people were saying on the previous video that it wasn't fair, a comparison between the Smove Q that I just took out of the box and the DJI Osmo Mobile 2, which I had been using a little bit more. So right now I can tell you that we've been using all three of them. We know what we did wrong, and this is gonna be a more fair comparison in this sense. So no more talking, let's take a look. You guys were asking for footage, so we're gonna just take a couple of shots with each one of this handheld stabilizers and see if there is a real difference in terms of stabilization. Let me explain one thing before getting into detail. The technology is pretty similar on all three of them. They are 3-axis stabilizers. If you care about the footage, first of all, it will depend on your phone, and second of all, they do balance your phone and they hold it straight so that your footage will look exactly the same on all three of them. So it doesn't really matter if you use one or another. Now, there are some differences on design, some extra difference inside the app, which you may like more or less. Depending on that, and we're gonna explain it to you, you can choose one or another. But overall, to say that all work the same way. So the footage you're gonna have on your phone is gonna be exactly the same. Now that you've seen the footage, let's talk a little bit about the price and a few specs that I believe are important. The new Smove Mobile comes with a price of $149. It's the price is set down, so if you actually want to purchase it now, it's a good moment. Whereas the DJI Osmo Mobile 2 still has the price of $129, and surprisingly, the Smove Q has dropped the price to $99. Talking about the weight, we have to say that the new Smove Mobile has the lightest weight of all three, and it's 428 grams. It's almost 50 to 60 grams less than the DJI Osmo Mobile 2 and about 10 to 15 grams less than the Smove Q. With your phone attached to it, there's not much of a difference, you can't really tell, but the new Smove Mobile has a battery which lasts up to 10 hours, close to the 12 hours from the Smove Q and to the promised 15 hours of the DJI Osmo Mobile 2. Let's talk a little bit about the grip and how it feels in my hand. I said in our previous video that I thought that the DJI Osmo Mobile 2 was more comfortable than the Smove Q in my hand, because the Smove Q, as you can see, it's something more straight and it doesn't have that position that you can have with the DJI Osmo Mobile 2. Well, the Smove Mobile, I have to say that it has this different type of surface, like a rubber gum surface, which I loved a lot in the DJI Osmo Mobile 1, and I want to make clear that it has a trigger. Now, I've seen a couple of YouTubers saying that it was amazing that the new ones didn't have a trigger, but I missed the trigger. I really loved the trigger. It was a button which had a lot of functions, and right now on the new ones, all these functions from the trigger are somehow in this button. So you have a button that can make up to 5, 6, 7 different functions, which is a confusion. It confuses me. For me, it's great that the Smove Mobile has a trigger. And here, talking about the joystick, the SmoothQ and the DJI Osmo Mobile 2 had a very similar joystick, same function. And even though the function of the joystick is the same one here on the new Smove Mobile, I have to say that the feeling is different. It's plain surface, and you know, this is something different. Also, when talking about the buttons, as you can see, they are very similar than the SmoothQ from the Smove Mobile, but the difference is that the zoom button is right here and the SmoothQ has it right here, and the DJI Osmo Mobile 2 has it right here. So these are small differences, and this in the end comes up to your own taste, so what you like the most here. Do you see any difference on these three? Yes, the knobs. The SmoothQ has knobs, the DJI Osmo Mobile 2 has knobs, but the Smove Mobile doesn't. This also depends on if you like it or not. I believe it's something interesting to not have knobs. We can just turn this endlessly without having to use the knob. And also very interesting, let's talk about the Smove Mobile for a second here. It has the charging port for your phone right here, which is really great because once you're using your phone, the charging port, it comes with a cable, a small cable that you can put right here, and the phone will be charging. This is very interesting because otherwise on this ones, as you can see, you were always charging from the back in this case, or from the side in this case, or from the bottom, and you always had some wires coming all over the place. And you know, this is something that the Smove has solved pretty good. And also one of the nice things of the Smove Mobile, which adds something new on behalf of those two, is ta-tan! Look at this. It's like a selfie stick. This is pretty good for many cases. First of all, if you are vlogging and you like that selfie style, you'll have a much more wider angle. We'll see an example in a second. And of course, if you have back problems, like me for example, you can just film down the bottom, you can film the surface, you can film everything without getting all the way down. Or if you're doing a group selfie, you know, with that wider angle, it has all the positive things that a selfie stick has. Well guys, this is how you actually look when using the selfie mode, the selfie camera on the 3 stabilizer. This one is the Smove Mobile, and the interesting thing here, just for you to see it, is if I open up this stick, I will look like this, and I can walk like this, and everything surrounding me is, you know, wider, and this kind of looks cool. Oh, this really looks cool. It's a different way of vlogging right now, so I believe this is quite interesting too. Now, if we do like this, we can see Chivo! Chivo! Yeah, you know, this probably wouldn't be possible when using it without this extended stick. Also, feature with this extended selfie stick is that you can do some crane shots you wouldn't be able to do without. Just take a look. This was so nice. This would be completely impossible without this extended stick, so I believe it's quite nice. Well, back in the studio guys, we wanted to show you shortly the apps that each one of these stabilizers use, and just to mention that there are some differences. Mostly they do the same and they cover the same features like motion lapse, time lapse, and the different video and photo settings, but there are some differences and we wanted to point them out. This is the Smove Mobile app, and just to highlight the 3 different modes on top left corner, the pan follow mode, the all follow mode, and also the lock mode, which you enter by holding the trigger. You can go to gimbal settings, and here you can go to auto rotation mode rate, which is pretty interesting, and we'll see it in a second. And you can change the speed settings of the panning speed and the tilting speed. Apart from that, nothing else really to say. It's a very simple app. It works good. You can change here among time lapse, slow-mo, and all the different modes and panorama. And this is pretty much it. For entering this manual motion lapse, you have to press 4 times the function button. That beep means that you are inside this manual mode. And now you can set up here manually the initial position, let's say for example here and here, and click once. This will be the starting position, and now you can move all the way, whatever you want to do. This will be the finish position, and I just have to click it once again. And now we can start filming, and you'll see that it will do the whole thing that it remembers. Just to highlight that this was of course the shortest version, and you can put it up to 1 hour or even further. And now with the Smooth Q, just to highlight again, once you go into the settings, PTZ, which is pan, tilt and zoom, you can actually change, for example, the following rate, degrees per second, the control rate, the smooth degrees, everything. And you can pretty much in this table change and adjust whatever you want. It looks complicated, but it's really cool, and after a couple days of use you can actually use it however you want, and you can of course always reset it. Smooth Q app, the Zinion app, is probably the most complicated app. It's the one with the most different settings and information and stuff that you're probably never going to use. And on the other hand, the DJI Osmo Mobile app is the simplest, as I've told you before, of all 3. Yeah, well, tracking seems to be working fine on the Smooth Q. You have to drag a box around the face or whatever you want to track. And of course you can change the speed of the following mode. On the tilt and the panning, you can change the speed of that. As you could see, the Smove Mobile, the good thing, it tracks your face without telling you, and you only have to press on that box and it will turn red. And as you can see, the tracking is also pretty good and it works perfectly. As you could see here, the DJI Osmo Mobile 2, just when entering the tracking mode, you just can click or push the face of the person you want to track, and the software and the gimbal will track it automatically without having to drag a box. Also, one of the greatest things that the Smove Mobile and the Smooth Q both have, where the Osmo Mobile 2 does not have, is what about if you're left-handed? I mean, that's pretty good, but if I'm left-handed, you know, it's kind of magic. You can use it as a left-handed person and have no problem at all. I told you that I like that there are no knobs, and apart from that, it's also that there are some, I don't know if you can see that, some numbers and like millimeters, so that you can actually remember the position you use when you put your phone. But not everything is going to be positive. One thing on each one of these gimbals. For example, on the Smove Mobile, we believe that the grip and everything was very good and well thought. But you know, this little zoom trigger button here, being on the right side, it kind of is complicated than when you're filming or running to get with your thumb into this button. The Smooth Q has it here and the Osmo Mobile has it here, which is kind of more natural. The DJI Osmo Mobile 2, as it is very simple, it has probably forgotten to manually adjust the speed of the panning, the tilting and everything. This is something that maybe DJI could be working on. And finally, the Smooth Q, even though it's the only one that can rotate 360 degrees, which is awesome if you're vlogging, for example, you definitely, guys, at Zinion should work on your app. Hold on, let's have some fun. We're gonna use all 3 of the gimbals to do some B-roll cinematic shots, and we dare you, we challenge you to see if you discover with which gimbal it was shot. Smile more when you come back. Smile more when I see you. Smile more when the sun shines bright. Believe me, I need you. Smile more when you blow me up. Smile more when I see your face. Smile more when I feel love. Smile less when I need to let go. Let go. Smile less when I let go. But you know I won't fall. Smile more when I see you. Smile less when I miss you. Well, guys, now the conclusions, I believe, are the most important on this video. And also, with everything we've seen and what I told you in the beginning, the output footage you'll get will depend on your phone, the quality of your phone, and of course, the stabilized footage will look pretty much the same. Now there are a couple of differences you really should bear in mind, and for example, a big point, a winner for the Smove Mobile is this selfie stick, which allows me to vlog and talk like this to the camera with a wide angle behind me, which is really interesting. Now for the Smove Q, for example, one of the most interesting things is, of course, the price. It's the cheapest, and if you're on a tight budget, the Smove Q could be the good thing for you. One thing where the DJI Osmo Mobile 2 loses, but just if you want it to lose, is that you cannot adjust speeds, rotation, anything on the app. On the Smove Q and on the Smove Mobile, you can adjust rotation speed, yaw, the gimbal, the raw, you can adjust pretty much anything you want inside the app. Now, if you're a pro, this is just amazing. If you don't care about that, the Osmo Mobile 2 is easy to use. And also finally, there may be some details which you like more or less. For example, on the Smove Mobile, it doesn't have knobs. You can pan both ways for a portrait mode. The DJI Osmo Mobile 2 has less buttons with less functions, and you know, some of the details we told you along this video, which will entirely depend on you. For finishing this video, all we wanted to highlight is that the Smove Mobile is a real competitor. It will be in the war between the best gimbals for 2018 for sure. It already is. And we're very happy to be testing it. Things like the trigger, some different functions are really interesting. And as I said, it's a really good competitor. Nothing really else to say, guys. If you want us to test anything else, just let us know in the comments, as you're greatly doing in the past months. We read them, we answer them, and we do the videos for you. Nothing else to say. Always remember to like the video, also leave a like for the Chivo, the cameraman, and remember always to keep calm and talk UAV.